Hello, my audience. I'm Jake on the Gram. This is my review on the Daniel Craig Bond movies I've seen. I've seen all of them except the last one titled No Time to Die. And those are the ones I'm talking about. From starting with Casino Royale and ending with Spectre. And the ones in between I've seen. You know, Quantum Solace, Skyfall. I just remember there's 4 movies he's been a part. It feels a lot longer that he was a part of. I give the Daniel Craig era Bond movies a 7. I mean, not a 7. Sorry, I meant to say 6 out of 10. I give it a 6 out of 10 for a dumb. I give my verdict a 6 out of 10 for all the Daniel Craig Bond movies that I've seen. For an average score, mediocre gets score for me. They're nothing special, they're not great. They're fun, dumb, retarded action movies that feel like a Batman knockoff at this point in the was Daniel Craig's reimagining on Bond. It feels like a lot like a Batman knockoff or a Jason Bourne knockoff. But why would I want to watch the James Bond then, when I can just watch a Batman movie or a Jason Bourne shitty movie? Which I don't like the Jason Bourne movies, but I've seen all of them. I just thought they were just dumb movies. I don't hate them. I like them like I like the Daniel Craig's Bond era of films. All of the Bourne movies, even the ones with Jeremy Renner's, that didn't have Matt Damon in it, which I thought was stupid not to put him in it. It's because they only mentioned him several times in the movie. You would think he would make a cameo or something, but no. It sounds like they were building up to a cameo, but no cameo from the actual character called Bourne. And that was my problem with Legacy, Bourne Legacy. One of my problems with Bourne Legacy. That was one of my big problems with Bourne Legacy, you know? Anyway, I'm supposed to talk about Dan Craig's Bond movies. Right? The Daniel Craig Bond movies, I thought the action was fun. I thought the CGI action was fun. The practical action was fun. Well shot. All of the action was well shot. The CGI fake action and the real action that was done by practical stuntmen, and this blended well in these 4 Bond. And they did a good job capturing the action, constantly shooting the action and shooting more action. And also, I thought it was kind of strange how in Casino Royale, Bond doesn't really drink like he was known for drinking in the past incarnations. And he doesn't even smoke like he's known for in the past incarnations. And he doesn't really sleep with any women like he was known for in the past incarnations compared to the past Bonds. The interesting thing about Daniel Craig's Bond, the things you expect Bond's character traits to stand out for, what Bond used to be known for, being a lazy man and alcoholic, and a bit of alcoholic because he can't stay away from the martinis in the Bond movies and all the alcohols. And I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to dial it down to the bare minimum and show the bare minimum of Bond being alcoholic or being a lazy man, or even being well, those who wonder, does he smoke? No, he doesn't smoke anymore, but he doesn't really drink anymore either. His martinis anymore. since Casino Royale. And following that, the most he drunk was in Casino Royale. But even then, he did the bare minimum because he was so on the focus on the mission, his Bond, and the thing what stands out about Daniel Craig's Bond, he has an incredible six-pack. He has incredible physique compared to other Bonds. He definitely has the most incredible physique I wish I had. I still wish I had that physique that Daniel Craig had in his 4 movies as James Bond, especially the one he had in Casino Royale. We see the best money shot on his abs in clear day when he's on the beach, and we see how grip he is. Truly, that's all you need to be James Bond now. I'm convinced. There's a mad six-pack body. There's a mad six-pack abs. Nothing else, okay? I'm convinced on that. Because these movies made money. This is like the pro wrestling version of James Bond, but without the fun. He's built like a. I appreciate how Daniel Craig's is more of a brawler than the past James Bond, and it gets more into fights more often than the past Bonds would, and more temperamental. That was cool, but the other Bonds were. Like, he isn't as calm-headed, level-headed as other Bonds. He's more impatient and irrational than the other past incarnations of James Bond. And it is interesting how Daniel Craig is less has less in common with the past incarnation of James Bond than any other. He has at least, from what I understand, now I'm going to admit, I never have looked at the James Bond books. Just the movies. And from what I hear, I did a little Googling on the characters and YouTube and stuff. For I understand, Daniel Craig's Bond has the least in common with the Bond from the book, and the least in common with Bond with the brand name. So, out of all the other Bonds that played him, my understanding it seems like this Bond is Daniel Craig's Bond is the least common from that was created by this author called I forget what the authors that created James Bond, Ethan Fleming, I think his name is. So yeah, the guy who created James Bond named Ethan Fleming, and I believe his name was that. So Daniel Craig Bond has the least in common with Bond with the brand name, is what I'm trying to say. Even more than he has less common than the Bond with the brand name from all of the Bonds from the original Casino Royale movie. And that's the one where one of the Bonds are played by Woody Allen. And there's several Bonds in that movie. And one of the Bonds is a female. And one of the Bonds is afraid to take a bath with an attractive woman. That's a male Bond, played by a different actor. Much older, veteran actor. And one of the Bonds gets disappeared because I guess he gets killed off or disappears. Like the Bonds, that Bond movie from Casino Royale back in the day, back in the 70s, it was released as a spoof comedy for the Bond genre. And was a mess, like how I'm describing it to you right now. I didn't hate the movie, but I liked it like I like Daniel Craig's movies. The spoof version of Casino Royale. I give a 6 out of 10, and that's my review on Daniel Craig's movies and the original Casino Royale movie from the 70s. That was a comedy spoof version for the Bond brand. By putting several Bonds in the same movie, played by several different actors and actresses. We made that movie. I give that a 6 out of 10. The original Casino Royale. I can't give it a 6 out of 10. I have to give it more of the points than that, okay? Because the thing is, the original Casino Royale from the day with Woody Allen, back in the day with Woody Allen, is a 7 or 8 out of 10, not sure. I give it a 8 out of 10. Because it's bonkers and special enough, it stands on its own. And it's completely idiotic of a script. That makes no, I'm trying to make sense. Look, if you're a fan of a Bond, like the older Bond movies before, if you're a fan of Bond, then you probably won't understand. You probably won't. The Casino Royale probably won't. The 70s one movie probably won't have anything to offer you. But if you're a fan of nonsense movies with comedic slapstick that doesn't really try to make sense of its premise of a movie, but it's weird for the audience's sake and it's funny at the same time, like hilariously a riot, then you'll probably enjoy Casino Royale with Woody Allen from back in the day, released in the 1970s something, of Bond. And this movie's a mess, but it's a fun mess. Like Green Lantern from 2011. Or Superman 3 with Richard Pryor as the main character instead of Superman in Superman 3. Spoiler alert, that's the problem with Superman 3. And, because the reason why I gotta say this is, in a way, basically, in my eye, a bit of a classic, this Bond movie I see this as. That's a 8 out of 10. It's like, it's not my favorite movie, but it's a fun movie that's honest and funny for honest's sake, and funny for just trying to get a laugh out of you, desperate to get a laugh out of you and not try to make sense of the movie. There's movies that just built on slapstick and less on built on telling a coherent narrative, which we don't get a whole lot of see anymore now these days. Those type of movies, nonsense movies, which for me was always easier to me get into, enjoy. Those nonsense movies, why I like Casino Royale from the 70s movie flick with Woody Allen and all the several people that play James Bond, and yeah. That's what I have to say about this movie. I think that's enough said. Why I give this an 8 out of 10, and Daniel Craig, all 4 of his movies, from Spectre all the way back to, Casino Royale, the original, was Daniel Craig. And I give a 6 out of 10 for a mediocre score. In the original Casino movie from the 70s, I give it an 8 out of 10 for fucking ridiculous fun. Excellent, ridiculous fun. I give that movie. That's my review on those James Bond movies. That I just talked about. That's my review on the Bond, James Bond, okay? The movies I talked about, I did 5 videos. 5 movies I just talked about, okay? I think that's 5 Bond movies, like with Daniel Craig, and 1 movie without him. That's older than Daniel Craig's era. But from before Daniel Craig's era. The other Casino Royale movie titled Casino Royale was released back in 1970. I'll put the right year in the title of my video, okay? And that's my review. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the thumbs up to like this video. And I have the comment section on. So if you want to comment below, you can. And bye-bye.